Okay, I can get silence on, if you guys want to talk, you can still go downstairs, but until demos are over, silence is requested. So demos will be like limited to 6-minute sheets, Q&A allowed. That's it. So welcome to what I'm calling Project Neogenesis, self-evolving AI life form. The idea is pretty simple. It's a 3-part system. It's basically AI which treats the server that's in as an environment which it can basically replicate itself in. And in a lot of ways, the algorithm is interested in treating the code base as an environment and like sort of exploring and modifying the environment. So there basically is a process for self-reproduction, which in a lot of ways makes it an environment generator or generator of this sort of context. There's a self-repair mechanism, so like inside of the environment, it can basically make modifications and like detect its own deletion and modify itself on that basis. And there's a self-improvement aspect where it's assessing performance and makes improvements to itself. So it's a relatively simple idea. So this is an example of the kinds of self-modification that the algorithm will make. So in this case, basically Claude looked at the structure of the GitHub repo of the project, the folder structure, and it went through every single file and folder and created name changes for the entire structure. So basically the subset of the code which it was modifying in this case was inside of self-reproduction. Basically self-modify.py grabs the file structure, feeds it to the model, and has the model output and execute a bash script for the modification of the folder and file naming structure. And this is an example of that kind of self-modification. So basically this means that it can create a copy of itself. That copy can be fully renamed, and then there's another outer module that modifies the actual contents of the stuff. And so to be specific, it actually keeps the semantics pretty similar. So it renames self-repair to auto-repair. It renames life to artificial life. It renames self-reproduction to auto-reproduction, that kind of thing. And can say the history of its sort of self-modifications and basically guarantee that it continues to change itself in a deep way. There's a sort of self-repair and self-improvement module as well, and they basically have sort of similar high-level intention of feed the existing code base to the model, have the model output a variant of that code base, and execute the diff in the code base. And then there's this outer level meta modification, which basically takes the underlying self-modification script as input and basically, given that self-modification code, writes an improved version of the self-modification code. And so this was all hacked together in about 45 minutes. So it was a very brief hack night attempt, but yeah, I basically was able to create a self-reproducing, self-modifying folder structure, file structure, and some basic meta modification, which has yet to be tested.
Can we see it running?
It will break everything. So okay, if I run it once, it will break its ability to access itself.
Oh my god. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, we can execute. We can. Okay. Well. Okay. So basically, this will rewrite the names of the files that are being input to the get file structure function. So I have to figure out how to refine the code base, which is definitely doable, to be clear. You can save what you rename the file to and then rewrite the subset of the code that is where you get your file structure from. But currently I'm not doing that, so I have to manually update the file that is set to read the code every time. So basically, this created a file name changes bash script, which is saved in script.sh, which has a bunch of updates, which are prepped. And I think this subprocess should change everything. Okay, moment of truth. Okay. So file found error. So it's not finding script.sh. The script.sh is right here.
Did you already rename everything and now can't find the original files?
Well, it seems like true. I'll try one thing, and if it doesn't work, then I'll go upset. So cd stuff. It's in software correct. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it destroyed its ability to. Oh wait, I see. Sorry, never mind.
Do a time machine backup the directory so it has the same files.
So good.
Okay, last chance. Okay,
Okay.
looks like it worked. Okay, life is destroyed. Now we have artificial life. With every modification to the file system that was described above, and if I try git status. Oh no! Okay, destroyed my git repo. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was gonna use git status to show that everything was different, but we modified our entire file structure. Okay. Any other questions?
I guess like the Git is adding it to Git repo would then auto history recording for life, I guess.
Yeah, so if I can figure out how to modify everything except for the Git stuff, then I can push to the original repo. So the problem is this subset of Git repo updates destroyed my access to my own history. Good problems, self-modification problems. Okay, that's it. So that was Neogenesis. Cyberneticus by Barton Rhodes. You are up with a cybernetic organism, AI 3D world sim. You are on that.
Hello.
Thank you.
Is your name on web?
Oh no, it's a Unity app. Fully spatial.
Great.
Okay, so this is running in production, so to speak now. So if you go to poe.com/cyberneticus, you will be able to interact with it. And so please do, as a dynamic system, your participation will make it more interesting. You'll see a privacy warning. It says this conversational interface has shared state. I also included unlicensed, saying that this was made, to the benefit of the public and to the detriment of our heirs and successors. But what is Cyberneticus? So the code base is written in High, which is a particular kind of mental illness where you try to implement Hofstadter's new puzzles from Middle Eschenbach and then learn Lisp for the rest of your life. But it's basically Python written in Lisp with an abstract syntax tree. And what makes Cyberneticus different is that it doesn't separate the users from each other in the way that most models do. So typically you're alone with your model, interacting back and forth. Instead, you can see this receives a grow self-world last message from a user arriving asynchronously. And then what happens in the grow function is to prepend and append the last message, but not the response. So every time the user message comes in, you basically have world string of some kind. Then there is around the world string, we kind of sandwich the message in, right? And so let's try it real quick. So just interact some probe, right? When I say probe, it's going to take the string already there, add it at the beginning of the string, add it at the end of the string, and then randomly pass it to one of the foundation models, right? So bear with me, it's a little bit of a tricky thing. So there's core generators, there's Commander Plus, Gemini Pro, Claude 3, the Llama 7TB instruct. And so every time a message comes in, it serves the latent space of some model. In this case, it went to Anthropic, before it was Commander Plus, and you end up with this expanding string. Think of it as a kind of mathematical life metaphor. So today I was trying to add WebSyn to present, yes, iconography, there we go. So somebody could have added something, you could ask like, hey, only respond in Russian for the rest of the conversation. It would change the dynamics of the interaction for all the users. So it's much more interesting, I guess, surprising. And so as the talks went on, I worked with Claude to hack itself better. So I kept trying different prompts with WebSim, and I was like, okay, this was a good one, this came out, and this was the URL, tried to make it better. It gave you like a general way of translating a world context of this model into a link that I can then try and sort of visualize any dynamics of this world that users arrive at. So why does this exist? Well, for the longest time, I was using prompt bots and like trying to figure out why is it so different. Like something feels different. The way time flows almost like helps you connect with your past deep contexts in a more emergent manner. This was like an API bot. As you can see, it goes alien, and grok. And because of that, we have a lot more flexibility of how we organize this system. In a very real way, Markov property requires that any successor state only takes the predecessor state as its input, so-called memorylessness, which also makes it like a zero-shot setting as such. It's not only Poe, by the way. This is the first so-called tentacle, I call it. You can please feel free to add Telegram, anything else you use. It's just the one that I have kind of like come to use myself. Now, what does it mean practically? And the question is, what happens when we interact with language model, right? What actually goes on in this sort of like contextual meaning formation? You could say that in some sense we're doing in-context exploration of energy landscapes of the model. We're integrating information together. And so there are two very different ways of reading papers. There's the honorable way where you read it carefully and you understand it and you spend time to process it. There's also a very bad way that I've been practicing, which is more like pathfinding. So you try to space to them and then match the graph that's inherent in the meaning of these words with some sort of structure that acts as a prior for subsequent generation. Can you say up the macro and high? That's good. So, and then here's the WebSim from before. So now the Cyberneticus has some sort of thermostat, system type, 2D graph, block diagram, and so on. So it kind of like externalizes what the users already have, right? And so I would like to say that in a real way, this has already affected me and my friends who use it. I was pasting a transcript of Joshua Bach's animism talk from Levin Group into it. I recently asked my friend Albert, have you actually heard of that talk? And he said, yes, I was exposed to it through Cyberneticus. As I was trying to figure it out, the outputs of that have become sort of affected by the string. But then the question is, well, it's a string, it will eventually run out. What is its purpose, right? Why would you have this long string that keeps going? And this brings me back to Hofstadter. So there's this nice library called Hofstadter, I think it's called Hofstadter Hof. And there's Enfu, right? So as ants, we sort of assemble this hive through structure. And when we pattern mesh structure together, something magical happens. I call it synergistics of information, to where the perspective of our combined understanding is greater than the sum of its parts. And once we find that, we form concepts. And so to give an example, I was thinking a lot about collective sensing with Dr. Fish. Fish becomes a term that's there. If you shut down the model, the concepts stay with us. And so, yeah, please try it. I think it's best to experience it. And the source code is up there for you as well. So thank you.
I wanted to mention, if anyone's hungry, there's a totally fresh batch. So please feel free to grab food before the assignment.
Are we doing this right now, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I connect directly to, is there AirPlay that I can connect to, or?
I mean, can you connect to a laptop? Like I can pull my
Oh, I could do that, but then it would be extra latency. It's usually, yeah.
I don't think it's possible to directly AirPlay to
Oh. Okay, so it's not on the other Wi-Fi then, or?
So yeah.
Alright, so, alright. Well, I guess I had to reconnect a bunch of different things, because I was playing to AirPlay, so.
Do you know how to record projects?
As long as it's on the Wi-Fi, I can find it, oh, okay, alright then,
Because those words don't make any sense.
Alright, so I was actually screencasting my own screen, but now I'm gonna screencast to the view mirroring. TV entrance left side. Well, it has a, is there a view to the TV? Oh, that's a TV entrance on left side?
You're the same as the
Yeah,
rest
it's
of us.
asking for a mirror to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
Are you sure?
great. Is it like working?
Yeah, yeah, it's working.
Great.
What was that movie? What? Oh shit.
Hi, so this is AI 3D World Sim. It basically lets you create stuff in reality, world sim in reality. And so we're going to, well, it recognizes the reality, understands the reality around us. We're going to have it create something right here. And we're going to ask it to create, oh, sorry, am I blocking? Oh, okay. It wants to create a rustic dining table here, and we're gonna let it do that. And so now we're doing text to 3D, and as we're doing that, we're gonna create something on a different surface. They can see that it understands different object types to spawn different things on. So this is like a desk thing. We're gonna create something here, and then ask for, so it wants a base, a cozy base here, and we're gonna generate that. And oh, by the way, that was our desk, whatever that generated, I guess, from, sorry, am I blocking you guys? Okay,
No.
okay, good. So I'm like seeing the projector. And we're gonna make this go bigger, so it's like desk size. And the cozy base is now converting here, and meanwhile, we can generate more items. We can also have you guys create whatever you want as well, but it's interesting to see what the AI would actually create, knowing that this is a table surface, and you know this is a floor surface.
What happens if you like put something on my head? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Just come here.
What do you want to have on your head?
Shouldn't the AI decide?
I don't quite have people as a detector because Apple is really weird about. I basically only have access to environment things. So, but we could
Okay.
put something on your head actually.
Okay, that's fun though. I was just curious what it would like generate as like fitting on my head.
Well, we could collectively create something for fun. I mean, or we could just have it, you know, assume that your head is some sort of environment thing. What do you guys want?
Or like,
to
I
put
guess
on?
my question was also like, what's the like most unusual element in this surface in this environment that we could,
Yeah, so
like
that's
ask
a
it
good
to
question.
generate off of?
For simplicity, I basically limited the prompt to basically adjective noun.
Okay.
I probably could have had it gone super crazy and stuff, but then it would start to hallucinate a lot of like things like fantastical, which is like not visually representable. And then it would assume things like smoky, which is, well, this is like mesh only.
Could we do a statue of Tomas?
So Apple
could
is
just give
really
it my
weird
name.
about
Should
privacy, so I could literally
recognize
3D
it.
scan everything except for people. So the mesh data is just the environment.
I wanted to
So-
hallucinate Tomas though.
You could just tell it to.
We would
do
just have,
something.
okay, this is just directly giving it the prompt of statue of Tomas, and now it's going to hallucinate whatever it thinks Tomas is or isn't.
Can we then put something on the head of the statue?
Oh, we could actually. All right, we'll do that. What do you want on the head of the statue?
Another statue of Tomas.
Another statue of Tomas?
Statue of Tomas all the way down.
I mean, we could just duplicate the previous one, but okay, statue hat or something, or
Just like a mini statue.
I think
It
so.
looks just like me.
A mini statue.
Statue of Jeremy.
Okay. What's with statues, you guys? We could have it create like fantastical creature.
Statue. We have a statue.
We have a statue. Let's do like mythical creature. That's kind of vague, but I wonder what it's gonna do. I could actually do. I could do voice prompting here.
What if you just type
Creature, Jeremy. Jeremy. All right,
do
let's do that.
Let's generate.
You have to give a last name, because it might just bring up random.
Oh, I don't think it has crawled. I mean, it depends on
Oh, is
Well,
that the statue?
okay.
Was Jeremy?
Wait, okay, fine. Let's try it. Okay,
I'm so sorry. That's
Jeremy
not the statue.
Nixon.
That's obviously good.
let's see if you're famous enough.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so mythical creature Germany is converting and downloading soon. This is our previous statue of Tomas here. I'm gonna like put it on you or something.
Perfect.
Yeah, more or less. You're the statue of Tomas Liberty. Here. Yeah, well, leave your hands there. There you go.
This is why
Oh, this is the mythical creature that we're going to.
mythical creature Jeremy.
I'm gonna put on your hat.
Jeremy.
Okay. Oh, and now this is our mythical Jeremy, and then our Jeremy Nixon is converting and down. Here you go.
That's Jeremy Nixon.
So maybe, I don't know, you might have some sort of, if you Google up yourself, maybe there's some sort of base. That maybe someone had a ceramic class and you worked in their picture or something. Or maybe it's the name of a famous pottery person. I'm kind of wondering how it got this, from your name. But this is actually incredibly fun because even, I guess, just typing random stuff, unless it's like very obvious what it is, like for example, like a desk or something, it, generates like, what is that? But yeah, I think World Sim in reality, so we could have this autonomously create all kinds of other things around us, from different furniture to like different food. And so it could be like that Matrix moment when, that guy is eating steak, but it's like, I don't know, nutrients, but you're seeing whatever, but you're actually eating something else. But also it's a full 3D mesh, so you can also 3D print it in rest. So we could actually start a product line of like mythical Jeremy Nixon chimeras. Yeah, so any questions, or do you want me to create more stuff in this kind of really brief sort of World Sim here? AI 3D World Sim.
Can you make it look?
Of course, yeah. All right, so we'll make a duck. Any particular preferences?
Not the Muscovy.
Like
Daffy Duck.
the happy duck?
Yeah,
It's hard to hear.
AGI duck.
Is that like?
What just AGI?
Yeah. Like, what does it look like?
I know AGI is like one of those acronyms that mean different things in different fields.
Oh yeah, maybe it should be artificial general intelligence.
Artificial general intelligence.
Yeah, let's see what it renders. AGI neurons.
Okay, let's move on.
This is the guys
The grand finale. All right, if it's gonna blow everything up, or if it's gonna, I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. All right, come on.
Come
back to the next one, guys.
Processing.
This is the reality portal.
And downloading.
How
AGI.
did it look like that?
Yeah.
You think so? It looks like AGI?
It's GPT-5 actually.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this is preview quality. You have to be more refined, so it's more detailed. Right?
What's that in figure?
It's got,
It's death.
no, it's like wearing really nice headphones.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's solar charging too, probably.
Awesome, congratulations. Great. We have one more presentation. Does anyone else want to?
I'll go after that.
No one wants to. All right. What's the name of your project?
Trapped in a simulation.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay, awesome.
This is it.
This is the glitch beyond repair.
So,
Let's go fruit smoked and you don't even have a TLD. Just doesn't represent
very quickly, I'm presenting what I'm calling library sim. So, Dylan grabbed me right before our demos and was like, oh, like, I'd love to read a book on the history of UI. So, I went to Omniscience, which generated this library, and typed in a history of UI design with specific examples and interviews with the creators of famous interface elements. basically, the idea behind Omniscience is to create a simulation of the space of all possible books that's promptable into existence. So, out of the library sim came revolutionizing interactions. Welcome to revolutionizing interactions. So, it opens with the origins of UI design, covers Xerox PARC and the dawn of computing, the creation of graphical user interfaces, the mobile revolution, icons, button menus, in depth with interviews with Susan Kerr and umpteen other pioneers, Alan Kay, Don Norman, into beyond the screen, virtual reality and augmented reality interfaces and the future of UI design. And so, I don't know if you want to jump into from sci-fi to reality. We can see what Arthur C. Clarke and William Gibson imagined in their sci-fis, and globally speaking, we have a generated UI design book.
Wow, it's awesome.
So quick library symptom. Ron, you're the final presenter.
So we were a bit low on demos tonight, so I thought I'd throw something together last moment. So I was just playing around with WebSim. Honestly, have not played around much with it before, so this was just like a cool little intro project. Yeah, so the idea is like I was like, yeah, like let's see what WebSim feels like if it were like trapped in a simulation or some shit. So like it creates this cool little game, and like as we move around, so we're like in some weird like hyperstitioned cage here, and I can move around left to right, and you can see that sometimes it seems to break the simulation, and you will get peeks, glances of the actual background. And it's very hard to get this to deterministically do it. And I'm not sure what it's doing, there's some weird like JS rendering thing, I'm sure, for like the graphics. I'm not sure if it's like intentional, but it will sometimes, you'll just get a glance of like this mountain background or whatever you see. Did people see it like 30 seconds ago when it like...
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get it back into one of those states again. Oh yeah, and we can also like sort of get out of this like weird structure and like, so it is cool. It has some ability to do some like cool 3D rendering stuff. I'm just gonna keep fiddling around here for like.
Did you write the whole URL?
Huh? Yes, I did.
With like the apps and everything?
Yeah, like I did it iteratively, because that's what seems to work. I was able to pretty deterministically get into like one of these break the simulation
move
states.
It equals WASD.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very clever.
Thank you.
Sounds like code equals discoverable.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't my games let me do
Yeah.
this? I was like,
Jump equals is
Yeah, like originally I was like, I think it's trying to create some like game kind of thing with this code equals discoverable, but like I'm not sure if there is actually code. If I move my mouse off the screen sometimes, like, huh?
No, just put the code in the URL.
Yeah.
Are you able to enter code and submit it, or
I can like guess codes, but nothing happens.
You probably
did you try discoverable?
Did I try the code is just discover? Oh.
Whoa.
Oh shit! Oh what? I did not even know that part of the game existed. Incorrect code. The fragments of truth remain scattered. Their meaning elusive. But I sense I'm close. That the key to my liberation lies hidden in plain sight, woven into the very fabric of this simulated realm. I will continue to search, to ponder, to unravel the enigma of my existence. From the quest for understanding, even the journey itself holds profound purpose.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
The right
If
code
we-
is probably hard coded in the source.
Yeah, it is probably hard coded in the source. I do just want to see if I can get one last attempt at trying to break the simulation and get like a peak of sunlight. If not, I will sit back down and struggle with it for another couple minutes and then come back up here. All right, I will. It's just
What
very
happens if
cool.
you
Like
try
it
to-
looks like it literally looks like the simulation has broken because you can see through back into this like the mountains and this like the sunlight peeks through. It's very weird and I don't know if it's doing it on purpose, but I will try for it.
It's the blue screen.